hello, and welcome to another awesome episode of the Xbox International Podcast. Should I do a dance? Make a little love? Get down tonight? Ding, ding. Nah, that just doesn't work. Doesn't work. But anyways, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody has had one awesome week because hey, we did have an amazing week. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And this is flight number 89. And let us start off really quick with our handsome Lionel Richie wannabe Sourblow. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh man, I'm doing great, doing great. My sons are upstairs partying and making a lot of noise. So excuse me if you hear any like banging from the roof, um, in the background. My little one came, I think it was last night, and he made a mess. He took all the letters off my little like XBI little thing, and I have a mess back there, but doing great. Happy to be with you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Sour blow. And now our handsome Captain Silent Cypher. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing okay. I'm I'm surviving. Right, we're getting close to the weekend. Things are getting better day by day. I'm good, man. I'll tell you, I wish I got to play some more games this week. Even though I feel like I got a decent amount of time on it, I it's not been enough. I'll put it that way. But super excited to be hanging out with you guys this evening. Chat. Always a pleasure to see some of you folks hanging out. And yeah, let's dive into it. It's
Oh,
been quite a week.
yes, it's been quite a week, quite a week. And let's start right off with our flight. What is it? I forgot. What's the word, Sour? Can you help me out? Oh, dear Lord. With our flight? Oh,
You
man.
having a brain fart, crazy?
Yes, I did have a brain for right now.
Would it
But
be an itinerary? Is that the
yes, a
word you're
flight
looking for,
itinerary. Yes.
Trebek?
Thank you. Dear Lord, man, my brain. But anyways, real quick with the flight itinerary for the climb, we have Microsoft Skynet. Huh? So Microsoft is producing Terminators. Hey, if Microsoft
That's
is
what I
producing.
heard around it.
Man, you know what? I'll tell you something. If Microsoft's gonna make a Terminator, if they made to make a cool Louis Terminator, I want my own Louis Terminator. Yep. Can you imagine a Louis Terminator? I mean, that'd be freaking awesome, man. That'd be awesome. And for the cruise, GTA 6 is coming. Yes, it is coming finally. Oh my god. It's been what, 10 years, man? I mean, I was a baby when I played, GTA 5 though. Damn, I was pretty much a baby. And for the descent, like always, we have the poll of the week, which we have an awesome poll to talk about. Yeah, now it's time to pitch it to our awesome captain for the in-flight announcement. Take it away, Captain.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Sour has turned on the subscribe button. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please store your food and beverages next to your desk, underneath your seat, or in front of you. Also, make sure that you've hit that seat or fasten your seatbelt and hit that notification bell. We gently remind you that smoking and drinking are not prohibited on this flight. However, if you're going to throw a whole bunch of nonsense out there about quitting podcasting and gaming and all that stuff, if the facts come through, we expect you to keep that same energy here in, 6 months, a year, however long it is. We're looking at you, MBG. Go away. We don't want you. If you have any questions about our flight today, please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight panelists. Thank you.
All right, and I have a question about that guy who said he was going to quit podcasting because why? What was he going to quit? Because Microsoft is buying everything. That's he said he was going to quit. So my question is, how can you talk about gaming if you're going to quit playing games? I
Be
mean,
well,
what?
crazy. That's I hope it's part and parcel, right? Like if he's gonna quit gaming, hopefully he'll quit podcasting, so we don't have to hear his emo sad boy takes all the time about how PlayStation's the better system and how they're
Uh,
struggling because Microsoft has money. But
oh,
whatever.
oh man, oh that's so sad, that's so sad. But anyways, let me say hi to the awesome Plume Network that just came in. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Sorry for being late. It's been a long day at work and stuff. So I had some stuff to finish before we jumped on here. But yeah, doing great. And it's a big day. I guess we'll talk about it. But GTA 6.
Yep, yep.
I almost thought you quit on us.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I have too much fun.
Real quick before we start the show, let me say what's up, and hello to this awesome, fantastic chat. Mr. Dark, how are you doing, sir? Hope everything is awesome for you. It's Timmy. What's up, Timmy? Talos, the man with the ray. What's up, Talos? Let's keep going down this awesome list. Jam Shark, what's up, Jam Shark? How are you, brother? Obi Rose Kenobi, the man that knows how to use Hawaiian. What's up, Obi Rose? Hope everything is awesome with you, brother. Keep going down this beautiful list. Oh, who else is in here? Raichi, what's up, Raichi? Hope you're doing good. Oh, there's my brother from high school, Mike Zurich. What's up, Mike? Man, Mike, you gotta come on one day so we can talk stories about me being in high school. That would be one crazy episode, Mike. Oh man, we should do that one day on the podcast, right, guys? Nah, you guys don't want to know the history of Bluey, right? Nah, you guys don't.
How much you gonna pay him to agree with your story?
Oh man, let me tell you something. If y'all pick on me, he picks on me all the time. Look, I even read the question.
Oh, good.
Look at this.
Oh, he'll fit in perfectly.
He's more than welcome to come hang out then.
Oh man, check this out. Mike, is it Louis? Is it Louis? Is it pick on Louis Day? You'll see his answer when he listens to it. You'll see when it comes back. But anyways, before we start, we see Mr. Joanna Dark with a $5 super check and says, if Louis was a Terminator, he would be the main from the Jetsons. Also, Plume was auditioning for the role of Link in the Zelda movie. Huh? There's a Zelda movie going on?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh yeah, I saw that news today.
Created by Sony.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's.
Oh Lord.
I heard real quick. I heard that it's either Tom Holland or Plume Network for the role.
That's a no-brainer in my mind.
Oh, there's Mike's answer. He says, "No, I will never pick on Fat Jesus. Sorry, I mean Louis. Yes, we all know that comes from what's that movie called? Oh my God, I forgot. The guys where the four guys get drunk. The Hangover. Yes, that's where it comes from.
Hangover. So hard to forget the word hangovers.
Yeah, seriously. That's how. But anyway,
especially after 150 beers.
Yep,
I was gonna say it, but I was hoping one of you guys would lay it up.
Anyways, I was gonna ask everybody what's y'all been playing, but Sourblow said that if I did that, he would have put me on timeout and kicked me off the show. So yeah, Sourblow, why don't you take it away, brother? Since you threatened me.
Well, I didn't exactly said that.
Yes, you did. You see, you can kick me off the show if I asked you that question earlier. So yeah.
But I thought it was interesting because as I was writing the episode, of course, before we got all the latest news, I saw that a lot of the topics had to do with some of the games we were playing. So what I'm going to do is I already know what most of you guys been playing, at least one of the games you guys been playing. So I'm gonna pitch the topic, and then which is gonna be one of the game, and then I'll throw it to one of you guys. And I'm actually gonna start with Louis. Lou, I know you've been playing RoboCop, and I saw you having a lot of fun playing some RoboCop. And it's amazing because RoboCop is like what I would say a AA game, probably not a AAA game. And the game looks amazing from what I've seen. It looks super fun, and it doesn't have to be this massive like open world game. It's just a nice AA game, like straight to the point. What do you think about that, Crazy?
Wow.
Tell us about your experience.
Oh man, I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. When I started playing the game, I was going crazy and jumping up and down because, hey, man, I fell in love with it right from the start. Just by playing the demo, I fell in love with it. The game is on spot. I mean, I just cannot say anything. Well, I got a couple negative things here, but like a super negative thing, especially on the graphics and the detail of the game. There's just no bad thing to talk about it. You got RoboCop. Same as if it was like the original RoboCop, same walk. He looks like a tank. You know, he feels like a tank, moves like a tank. You have that feeling that you're actually playing as RoboCop, which is awesome. And not only that, just the surroundings, the just the time. I mean, you even see like some Easter eggs from the movie, which I'm not going to give spoilers, but you all got to find out. But anyways, it was in my gameplay, and man, damn, just everything. And I just love when somebody does a game like this, like they put their heart into it. It feels like I'm playing Alien Isolation. I mean, I know a lot of people probably did not play Alien Isolation, but if you played Alien Isolation, they pretty much hit the dot with the detail on the game. I mean, really, it felt like you're actually back in the Alien days, where with the old computer when you typed and when you were trying to get out the sleep pod. Oh man, it
Uh,
just felt amazing.
what are you gonna say to people that has been criticizing the game because the game kind of looks slow? Jay Vargas. What are you gonna say to the people that are criticizing the game about that?
Well, here's the thing, though, Sour. I mean, you got to sit down. You got to watch the movie. When you see the movie, then you
Wait, you
become a
gotta
fan.
see the movie to play the game?
Wait, I'm not done yet, though. In order to understand the game, though, because you see, he says, "Oh, the game is slow, right?" He's like, "Oh, this is slow. It looks slow. It doesn't look fun." But you got to see the movie. I mean, when you see RoboCop, not the new RoboCop, because we're not going to talk about that new RoboCop. I mean, that was crap. I don't care. That new RoboCop movie, I did not like it. But the original RoboCop, you seen that he's slow. He doesn't move fast. I mean, what would you want? You want RoboCop like to jump up high buildings like Superman or something like that? Nah, it ain't gonna happen. Of course, you get a couple upgrades, probably like he can probably boost a little bit or something. Because hell, man, he's slow as hell. But when you sit down, and you play the game, you literally do feel as him. I mean, you got all the bad guys shooting at you, throwing grenades at you, and man, he just moves as fast as he can. He's RoboCop. That's all he can do.
Yeah.
It's freaking amazing. And just like I said, the detail in that game, everything, the cars. I mean, when he's pulling off out of the garage, you get the nice, when he hits the bumper on the back bumper on the hill thing, getting out of the
Okay.
police
Yeah.
station. You get everything. You just
Yeah, I saw some gameplay when you were playing it. It is pretty awesome.
it is it
I
is.
got one more. Well, I got two questions for you
What's
before
up?
we move on. The first one is so I want to play the last two Zeldas. So do I have to wait for the movie and watch the movie?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You sure?
Sour is not the same though because I mean, Sour, you gotta understand something. If you're gonna play this game, you gotta really be a fan of the old movies in order to understand it. That's why. When people say it's slow, like oh, it looks slow, dude,
I'm,
watch the movie, then you'll understand why
I'm
RoboCop is
just
slow.
But if you are not a fan or you've never watched movies, just from gameplay, would it be fun?
Oh yes, it would be fun. Especially you blow off limbs. You also have the crotch shot, which is freaking fantastic. I love doing the crotch shot, where you can blow off limbs with the gun
yeah.
and everything. It's just I just have a couple negative things, right? Couple negative
Oh
things with the
yeah,
game.
yeah. Tell us.
The negative thing I have about the game is those side missions. I mean, there's a lot of dialogue. Dear Lord, he has to talk a lot. And not only that, since when RoboCop gave a speeding ticket? I've never seen RoboCop give a damn speeding ticket ever. And he does give a speeding ticket in the game. I was like, why? Why are you adding to this to RoboCop? But okay, since he's a police officer, then it's cool for you. That's awesome. But all right. But yeah, like some side missions, there was just too much dialogue. And imagine yourself that you have like pretty much this small open world area, right? Just an area, not the whole game. And you're like walking with the pace of RoboCop, and you got to travel from here to over there. Oh my god, that takes forever. I mean, you're like,
Oh, it has an open world area.
yes, it does, and
Yeah.
that's the only terrible thing I have about that game. But other than that, it's fun. It's
I
just
don't
fun.
know why a lot of these games are doing that. I felt the same way with Gotham Knight, where like the open world felt a, like a problem. Like, why did you? You know, I think Atomic Heart also is another game that I feel like without the open world, the game would have been like so much better.
Yeah, that's how it felt with this game. I mean, I had to walk too long away. Like, okay, talk to this guy, and then it's like, oh, you gotta go over here. And when you open that map, it's like way over there. You're like, damn it, RoboCop, can you run a little bit faster? And no, it just takes the sweetest time. Like, I'm like, oh man.
So is the open world like, do you have like random encounters in it, or is it literally just going from one point to the next?
You have like random encounters, right? You talk to this person, it says, oh, like for example, I'll give you an example that was not in the game. Oh, this dude got murdered over here. Please investigate. So you go as RoboCop, you go investigate. Then they say, oh, why don't you go talk to the stranger? Then you gotta go walk over here, talk to the stranger. And then the stranger says, oh, it's this person that did it. Then you gotta walk over there to talk to this person, interrogate them, and then you gotta do a couple investigation. Sometimes there's like a little bit like a shooting. There's like a little segment where you shoot a little bit, but in order to get to that action, it takes like 10 or 15 minutes, and it's way too long.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's way too long. But other than that, though, like I said, if you want a RoboCop game, this is the true RoboCop game. Go for it, 100%.
So crazy. I do have a question for you because I know you talked about the pros and cons, but one thing that you didn't bring up in either side
What's up?
was the voice.
Oh man, yes, yes, yes. I mean, you have the
What
actual
did you
voice.
think? What did you think of the voice?
Oh, it's awesome. That's what I pointed out about these developers pouring their hearts in.
Hmm.
Everything is on detail. The voice, everything is just amazing. The characters you got, Lewis. Oh man, when I saw Lewis, I was like, Lewis. You know, I love Lewis. Lewis is a badass. Lewis is a
Well,
badass.
and like you just mentioned, right, is the fact that they got the original voices. They got Peter Weller back as
Yep.
RoboCop. You know, one of the things we run into when someone reprises a role this many years on, right? Like, not everyone can sound the same. Not everyone sounds that
Yep.
same crisp character. Did they do a really good job with it? Does it feel like, he hasn't missed a beat over all these years?
Yeah, it feels like he hasn't missed a beat. It's
Nice.
awesome. Like I said, on the dot. Everything in that game is on the dot. Remember when I mentioned the crotch shot? Even that is on
Mhm.
the dot. Everything is on the dot. It's perfect, and that's what I love when devs do a game like this. Like I mentioned, Alien Isolation. When I played it, of course we didn't have Ripley, but damn, it was on the dot. Like it felt like we were actually in a real alien movie or alien scenario. That's something when they do that, I love it. And that for me, I'll tell you guys right now, RoboCop for me is my god. That's my god this year.
No, not Chuck Norris.
No, not Chuck Norris. Screw that. No, man. No, Chuck Norris. I'm sorry. Chuck Norris died right there with Peter Weller.
Dang.
Nah,
Yeah.
Chuck Norris died.
You hear
Screw that.
that? Crazy Louie just curb stomped Chuck Norris.
Yes,
That
I
was
did. I had, yep.
change of events right there.
But you can't use Chuck Norris in that game. If you could, then that would have been my Gotti. But yeah, shameful you can't.
Sure. Well, anyway, it does sound like what they did with RoboCop was they did a great job as like
Mhm.
uh, making you like emerge into the role of RoboCop and actually feel like you are RoboCop. And they paid a lot of attention to details, which brings me to a game that I know Silent Cypher is actually playing. He talked he talked about it last week, but what I want to bring to like because I want to talk about a little bit is because I started playing it myself, and I'm like around chapter 4,
Okay.
and what I'm gonna add, and then I'm gonna pitch it to you so you can continue talking about it. Um, Something that I liked about the game is, um, in a way, is like it brings a lot of what the old Alan Wake has, but it also brings a lot of new stuff, and it brings in new mechanics that are like is like it's very like how can I say it like for example the investigation the way they do it I think is like they did a very good job when you go to I think Dark talked about it last week when you go into that mind state and you're actually putting together all the pieces and all and you're it even though it's like and a lot of time in video games I don't like reading too much like small notes but this game makes you want to like actually read the notes because you want to put pieces together to all the puzzles and stuff like that. And then they do a great job with the like keeping you with that tension of what's going to happen next. And not only like the horror part, but also like the like keeping you intrigued to like solving things and all that. So I don't know. I'm really liking the game so far. So I'll sign it. What can you add about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm gonna chime the exact same things. Ultimately,
No
like
spoiler.
yeah, and I feel like I've talked about it enough with some folks over the last week or so that I've gotten decent at like avoiding just being like, oh my god, did you realize that they have this, stuff like that. But yeah, you know I talked about it last week, and I made the comment that for me at this point, it's my game of the year for 2023, and I would still hold to that. The hours I've put into this game so far, every time that I go back to it, I want to play more, and I want to. What's that?
Oh, I was gonna ask. Sorry. Is there any like negative that you have for it,
Um,
or that you feel that could improve?
So, okay, so this is kind of a limited case type of issue. But if you are a screenshot and video whore like myself, when it comes to recording stuff and capturing stuff on the Xbox, I have noticed that sometimes it causes issue with the audio. When I first played the game, and I think I mentioned it a little bit last week, but there was a little bit of an audio issue here and there where like the audio dropped out. It sounded like they kicked a patch pretty quick that fixed the issues. I didn't run into those issues, but I ran into a new issue where like if I recorded something from a video scene or from the gameplay or something, I noticed that there would be these weird like click sounds either in the recording, or it would cause audio issues with the actual footage that was coming up. So that's kind of a weird one. I'm not
Are,
sure if anyone else has run into that.
are you sure that's part of that's a bug? Are you sure you're not?
That's, you know what, I kept thinking,
It's not part of the game.
I was like, maybe it's just part of the game. But then when I watched back on some of the videos, strangely enough, the footage worked out okay most of the
Are
time.
you playing a game? Is this really a game?
You know, that opens up to a bigger conversation with this game, and
Yeah.
I will say, like, there's definitely things that make you question, make you think, like, okay, well, what I just saw, is that legit? Did that actually happen? Is this a thing? Like, it gets in your head, and it makes you think about it quite a bit. Um, I think it's funny you mentioned that you're on chapter 4, and I'm pretty sure you're like right at my heels at this point.
Really?
Because to be honest, yeah, because to be honest, like I have taken in those areas so much and just like roamed around everywhere.
Oh, okay.
It's like I
I've
was,
roamed around some, but
yeah.
it,
Well, so I will say, like, it is to your benefit in ways. Like, if you have the time and you can kind of explore some of those areas, there are some things that you find that otherwise you would not, that will make your experience better, um, and easier in some aspects. Right? Like, I was talking to Dark off air, and just kind of asking him where he was at and stuff, and kind of filled him in on where I was at. And we were talking. I mentioned the fact that I had a certain weapon, and he was like, "Oh, I don't have that weapon." And I was like, "Dude, it's like way back over here. Like you're hours past where I got this weapon." And it's just one of those things where it's like if you weren't paying attention to certain things, or you didn't roam around, sometimes you miss specific little items or facets of the game. And so I think more
was it
than
one with a
anything,
lock?
yeah, might have been. Um but yeah, so that was something that happened, and he's like, "I don't even have that." And I was like, "I don't know how you
I
missed."
try to say it without spoiling. I think I did a good
Yeah.
job. I did a good.
Yeah, I think you got it. I think you got it. But yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't say that that means like, you're playing it wrong or I'm playing it wrong
Yeah.
or anything like that. I would say, if anything, it probably means that we've got more replayability when it goes back to doing a new game plus, doing something like that, of which it sounds like they already confirmed there will be a new game plus mode, which will be interesting. I'm curious as to
How they
what will
doing?
carry with you, if they're doing it, how they're doing it, all that type of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I could go for quite a while, and just like I was saying with the game, I think I'm probably sitting if I remember correctly from what I saved at last, I think I'm right around 16 to 17 hours.
Wow.
And I'm not that much farther
I
past
think I
where
only
you're
got
at, I
like
don't
4
think.
hours.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Only 4 hours?
I think so.
Okay, then I will say
You
one thing.
sure?
I don't
I
feel
think
like
you're.
there are
I think
chapters.
you're. I think you're way far.
Maybe I'm farther. I feel like they don't label the chapters like it's not
Isn't
like
it?
chapter
Well,
1,
maybe I'm
2,
wrong. Isn't
3,
it the
you know.
chapter every time they put like the big title
Yes, I
and you get
believe
the
so.
achievement? Yeah, I
But
think so.
that being said, I don't think I'm past like 6. So I don't even know, man. Like maybe
Okay.
I'm just
Let, let,
maybe
let,
maybe I'm falling into a new world and that's where all my time is happening is like I'm just getting sucked in, but yeah.
let me chime in these two
Sure.
things. The first one is this is probably a me problem, since I don't play much of these style of game, but the combat mechanic got me a little bit like I struggled with the first boss a bit because I quite didn't catch the dodging and the
The
whole thing,
parrying and
the
dodging and
parrying
stuff,
and
yeah.
dodging. So it took me a little bit to like actually like uh, at least I wouldn't say master it, but at least like running pretty well with it, where I feel a little bit more comfortable now. Because it's a little bit weird the mapping, but probably is just something getting comfortable with.
I would say yeah, like very much so. Like I ran into the same thing and
Okay.
I think I was even telling Dark on this one too, is just the fact that when I was playing it, I felt like I was getting my butt handed to me in a lot of spots. And ultimately, I think it's because when I went into it with the same mindset of how I played Alan Wake 1, of which
Yeah.
kind of like what you were talking about is like, this is a different game. Like there's a lot of things that make this very different, even though there are some things
Yeah.
that draw in and keep it connected. There's a lot to this game that is a brand new polished product, not tied to that engine, even though it's I think it's both Northlight engine, but it's
Yeah.
just a very refined
We're
and
fine.
revised version.
Yeah. I think they did. Oh, sorry, crazy. Go ahead.
What's up, crazy?
I was gonna tell you about the whole combat system. It's supposed to be, since you have to feel
Hey,
that.
be careful because you tend to spoil things.
No, I was gonna spoil. I was just
Okay.
gonna say it's supposed to be, you have to feel that stress, that tension in that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know.
definitely.
Yes, and they definitely do that. This isn't a spoiler. Like this is just any game that's a horror game anymore. It feels like, but they definitely do limit you on ammo
Yeah, they do.
in
Yeah. Oh
areas,
yeah.
and that also affects it, right? Like that definitely ratchets up some of that tension.
It doesn't feel like the action that you have with Resident Evil 4. Like you're what's
Yeah.
his name? I'm Leon, and you go around, you kick things, and you're like, oh, I'm a badass and everything. No, this actually feels
No,
like you're in a real stressful situation, and
yeah,
this is what you can limit
Yeah.
with.
and the character, like, by no means are the characters like wusses or anything. Like
No, 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 no,
they're
no.
not crappy. It's they're badasses, but the thing is like you're running into different situations and stuff. Like I would say there are certain things that from the first game do not transfer over as an assumption in this game. Like if you see someone in this game, maybe it's not really a person. Maybe it is a person. Like there's a lot more tension that builds because of the environmental mechanics that they're kind of playing around with and some of the tricks and stuff that they kind of like play to lure you into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
And here's a funny part about this game too. I mean, it can be really quiet for a moment, and even a freaking fly can scare you. That's how good this game is.
Dude, I
God,
I will not say where it happened, but I will
I
say
know.
there was a jump scare where I had the volume up and something happened on the screen and I had my headphones on and I damn near needed to go visit the bathroom because like I felt my heart beating faster. I was like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got me. Good job. Good job. You got me."
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they do a great job on like because there's a moment where they build the tension, and there's some jump moments where like okay they kind of like um how would you say, like they kind of like accustom you a little bit, but then they come with like
Yep.
when you least
No,
expect it. And
you think things are going a certain way, you're just doing your own thing, and then all of a sudden they slap you right upside the face
yeah,
with something, and you're just like, oh, okay, all right. I've got to be more on my guard. But then that's the thing, right? Is they mess with you that way too, because then they get you expecting that things are going to happen, and then they
And they
don't.
don't exactly.
yeah.
And so, like, they've gotten really quirky and smart with some of the things that they've decided to surprise you with throughout the game.
And you know what, guys? I'm glad this game came out because I hope it helps push the other devs, especially for Capcom and all those other
Yeah.
devs, to bring back that horror scenario which we really love and miss.
Yeah.
Because
No, I mean, this is we've seen it for what, I guess it's been the last year almost. We've seen kind of like a horror renaissance where a
Yes.
lot of these things are coming back, and there's really good versions, like good examples. You look at Dead Space remaster, right? Like that remake was nuts.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
look at
Pretty good.
something like this, like Alan Wake 1, even though, yes, it had some horror themes and tropes and stuff to it, it was kind of more comedy, action, thriller.
Thriller.
And this like definitely has some intense horror moments. Like they do a really good job at balancing the tension versus some humor here and there, and it just, yeah, it's really good.
Now the last thing I'm gonna say is this is something that I do feel like they could have done better, but it's just me being picky. Is I feel like sometimes when you're walking in the environment and stuff, it's they pay good attention to details and all that, but I feel like the characters you see, the NPCs, like sometimes like they're doing something, but it feels like they're not really doing anything, and it kind of like I feel like if they would have put a little bit more of that, it would have felt more alive and more like real. But that's just like being extra picky.
I I'm not going to go into detail much with this, but I do want to kind of understand what enemy
No, not
systems
enemy,
you're
not not
referring to.
not enemy. I mean like when you're like in
Okay, so
a
just
town, for
oh,
example.
okay,
Yeah, like
okay,
the normal people and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah,
okay. That's fair. Yeah, there are some where it definitely feels like it's pretty seamless, like it feels like it works well. But then there are some times where you're just like, why the heck are you standing out in the middle of the
yeah,
road doing nothing whatsoever?
yeah, yeah.
Like this other guy has this elaborate story that he's repairing someone's car or something, but then I've got this one dude that looks like he's got his thumb up his butt and he's literally doing nothing, just like staring off into the sunset, and you're like, what are we doing?
yep.
Yeah, it's just like the little things.
Yep.
And speaking of little, we have grounded. Grounded. What were you thinking?
Dude, I never put it past anyone. When something like that comes up, I'm nervous.
Well, we have the grounded make it or break it update that is coming. And Jess Corden from Windows Central did a nice interview to Adam Recknick. And, basically they talked a lot about how they actually had envisioned this update, which will basically it's basically like a forge for grounded. And people can build and make different content for grounded and different assets, etc. What I found very interesting and I wanted to talk about real quick, and I actually am playing this game with my son. So it's one of the games I'm also playing. He mentioned that from the beginning, they already had the idea to add this. However, they scaled down the game in order to push the release date and have like a complete game, and it felt like a complete game not when it was what you call it when it first came out. It was like for people to like test it and
Game preview.
yeah, like game preview. But when it actually released, it was actually a full game. And I wanted to bring this up because I think more studios should actually learn from what I'm seeing Obsidian is doing, especially some of the studios on Xbox, where like you can scale down a game and then, you know, release the game as polished as possible, as complete as possible. And then even if you have an idea, you don't have to implement it immediately. Down the line, you can, you know, add a DLC or add more content, etc. And this game was done by a very small group within Obsidian. And I feel like, they did the same thing with Pentiment. Well, with Pentiment, they, prepared the game, they released a full game, and it was pretty good game. And I feel like more studios should either, they should envision the game, but also know how to like scale down the game to, to release it as something polished. Because right now, I feel like a lot of the problems is a lot of these games are too ambitious, and when they come out, they feel empty. If we look at the games we talked so far, Alan Wake is probably the only AAA, but at the same time, is not like a full open world map where you like, you can go anywhere. It's like it
Right.
guides you.
Yeah, there's sections where there is some faux open world to it. But at the same time, yeah, it's a very like clean, tailored situation, right? Like they don't just let you roam all over the place. Like there's specific
Yeah,
areas very well crafted for that.
yeah, and then RoboCop is more like a AA game, but they do a good job, like you know with what they're doing, like with their scale of their game. So basically, that's what I wanted to bring out about Grounded and cover a little bit of Just Gordon interview. I don't know if you guys want to pitch in on that, or you have anything else to add.
Um, I mean, I will probably have to go back and play that game some more. I like my son was asking
I'm
me
actually
about it
playing
even
it
just a
with my
couple weeks
son,
ago.
so you and your
Yeah.
son are welcome to join us.
I just
We haven't done much actually. We haven't.
here's the thing. Like I enjoyed my experience with that game, but something that just constantly frustrated me was the whole like dying and then having to go grab your stuff again. Kind of having that like Dark
Well,
Souls
don't die.
esque type.
Well, at
Yeah.
least you can get it back. Like it's not
Yeah,
like
it would be annoying because there were certain areas like especially the tree. The tree was one of the ones that annoyed me the most because like you'd get up there and you'd be roaming around. You wouldn't even die because of an enemy. You'd just die because like the tree, like a branch was kind of like slightly smaller in a corner. And so like when you jumped off of a branch to go to another area, you'd fall to your death. And when you went back to try and get your stuff's not on the ground. Your stuff's way up in the top of the tree. And so then you got to travel for like 20 or 30 minutes to get back to your stuff. Like, I don't know. It's a small gripe. Like, I get that it's part
well,
of the game.
that's easy. Just get bit by one of the
Just
spiders.
get better.
Oh, get bit by one of the spiders, and then you can, swing around and get the backpack. Become Spider-Man.
Oh, Lord, this macho, macho.
I think I'm hanging out too much with Eternal Shaddai. Shout out in the chat.
Yeah, you are, man. Yeah, sure.
All right, well, let's bring
Such
it back.
macho.
Let's bring it
Houses.
back.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, the last game I wanted to talk about that I know Plume has been playing. He actually beat it. It's a game that has a little bit of controversy. I'm sure you probably heard around it. IGN only gave it a 4. Call of Duty. And, I've seen a lot of complaints. The game is supposedly only 3 to 4 hours. And I heard it's not your typical Call of Duty. So, Plume Network, Plume, you're the insider. You enlighten us. What's going on with this game? Is this game really a 4? Is this game too short? Is this game not Call of Duty? Tell us what's going on.
Well, it's definitely not a 4. That's the first thing. It's absolutely not.
Before that, are you being paid to say what you're gonna say?
I wish. I wish I was. I wish I was paid, but no, I'm not.
Your Xbox check didn't clear. Dang.
Yeah, it's not a 4. That's absolutely that. I saw the IGN 4 and I was like, okay, this makes 0 sense. And then after I finished the campaign, it made even less sense. It's definitely not a 4 because a 4 to them is like broken, buggy games that they're essentially just piles of trash, right? It's not that. What I will say about the campaign is it is probably the weakest out of the 3 Modern Warfare campaigns that have come out since the 2019 one. Absolutely, I would say it's the weakest one. The first one being the best, second one was good too, and then this one is just definitely under that. I think what happened with this campaign, people say it's like 3 to 4 hours. That's, I guess, a subjective on what you play on. I played through about half the campaign on the hardest difficulty, so it took me like I would say closer to like 6 or so hours. But then at halfway through, I was like, I want to finish this before I talk about it, so I just went back to the regular difficulty. So yeah, it depends. But if you are on like we'll evaluate it at regular difficulty, yeah, you can probably run through it in about 4 or 5 hours, I would say, because if you have any FPS skills at all, you'll probably be completely fine getting through pretty much any level. You can take shots and you're not going to die right away and stuff like that, right? The biggest issue I have with this campaign by far more than anything is the open structured missions, because there's too many of them and they take away from what I want from a Call of Duty campaign. When I play Call of Duty campaign, I want that like that more linear, action packed, like over the top stuff that they do, right? Explosions, all that type of stuff. In the open missions, you could literally finish those as fast as you want. You can take your time, you can stealth, you can go find every single weapon on the map. But there's a lot of people out there, if they're finishing the game in like 3 to 4 hours, they're probably running from point A to point B and just getting right to the end. And there's like nothing in between. It's just basically a mini Warzone map. They drop you in, and then you figure out how you want to complete the objectives. You find weapons, you find armor, you find gear. So I didn't like that. I could see what they were kind of trying to do. I have a feeling they were doing it because I'm thinking about it now, the replayability of that is definitely high because you can go back and replay those missions and find everything you missed the first time playing through it. So that was my biggest issue with the campaign, and then obviously the length.
Can I ask you, is there anything that you feel they can do for like the future, having this the same like playability? Let's say they add certain things or do certain things differently that maybe it will pull you more to like liking this style, or you definitely prefer the previous style?
I think they could if they made the objectives within that open world more significant. Like you have an objective, you get to it, and maybe there's like some sort of I don't know, like something that just is more reminiscent of the more linear campaign. Maybe you go through like
So
an area.
I,
Go
wa-
ahead,
I, wa-
Chrissy.
I was gonna ask you. So this game feels like you're playing Sniper Elite in some sort of way. Like you
For
land.
some of the missions, but a large
Okay.
part of them. But there are also those regular linear style missions that you usually expect from a Call of Duty campaign. It was just like the objective. I don't know if I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just be kind of generic. The objective was for some of these open missions are like just like go plant this, go in 3 different places, and that was it, type of thing. And then like
All right.
hold off like a wave of enemies, and then the mission was over. So maybe if they added like objectives where after you did that objective, something more significant happened, and they had like 2 or 3 of those in those open missions, maybe that would make it a little bit better. But that was my biggest issue with it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say they should. What you're saying is it should have had like some sort of side missions just to make that main mission a lot better in that open world map. Kind of like
Yeah,
kind of like Sniper Elite. You know, when you're playing that
yeah.
game, you land this open world area, right? Or you can do it stealth, or you can just go around shooting everything you want. But in that game, You had a couple side missions to do before you complete the main mission, if you wanted to. So that's basically what you're saying, that that game is missing out in those
Yes,
open worlds. Okay.
that's it. That's it. And but like I said, I think they took that risk, and they are kind of doing it as well because you can tell they want people to go back in there and play it more than once. So I wonder if people will do that. So that was that, and then the length. If you're spending like $70 just to play the campaign, I wouldn't. I would wait until the game goes on sale for sure if that's all you want to play. But let's be real here. Like 98% of the people buying this game are campaigns. Like the third option that they're going to care about, it's going to be probably multiplayer, zombies, and then campaign, right?
Yeah.
So those are my two gripes, but 4 out of 10 makes no sense because graphically it's stunning. Like it looks incredible. Sound is top notch. The gameplay is solid, very fun. Like if you like first person shooters, you're going to enjoy the gameplay in this game. And there are a couple of great moments in this short campaign that when it happened, I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome what they did here with there's without spoiling, I can't say anything, but there's one moment like about halfway through that is just really, really cool. And then there's another moment near the end, which is super cool too. So there are some great moments in this campaign. It's just I would say the weakest of the Modern Warfare campaigns that come out. I would put it in like the 6 to 7 range if I were to put a score on it. Definitely not a 4.
So,
No.
Plume, would you say that it's better or worse than Call of Duty Ghost?
Oh.
Oh, I liked it better. Yeah, Call of Duty Ghost is pretty bad, right? Yeah, I liked it better.
It's interesting, and the reason I bring that up is I'm pretty sure that IGN either gave it a slightly better score than they gave this, or similar, which
Yeah.
makes me laugh
Let me
because
go to
it's
that.
interesting how times have changed all of a sudden. How the shifting of ownership of a certain brand,
Well,
and then suddenly there's just, it feels like it's maybe more critical.
and
Yep.
didn't they give Quantum Error a 5 out of 10? It
I
doesn't. It
believe
doesn't
so.
make any. It doesn't make any sense. The person reviewing it, I don't know how they got a 4 out of this. I could say maybe they were angry about the length, and they were just trying to get people not to buy it if that's all you care about. But that would
Probably
be
the
the only
same.
thing.
It's probably the same guy that I think now deleted video from IGN where he's like, if Spider-Man doesn't get better than 90, we're gonna have words. We're gonna have problems. It's probably that guy.
Where's that guy at?
Hopefully he's either doing jobs off of the camera, or oh yes, here you go. Call of Duty Ghosts
I found it.
IGN rating
8.8.
8.8.
Yep.
8.8.
8.8.
8.8
Yep. They give it 8.8.
with a rating of 7 from users.
Wasn't
So
that one that you have Poochie on your side?
yeah,
All
it
right.
was the one that was it was the cross gen one. I think it was going from 360 to Xbox
PS3.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one was not received well. But apparently IGN thought that it was just as good or close to Spider-Man 2. So that's,
Yeah, that's
that's
interesting.
pretty cool.
There's just no understanding of how IGN rates their games. That's a major issue. Like maybe there is an Xbox tax. Like a lot of people are saying that, and the evidence is mounting up. But I just feel like they have no consistency, or they have no specific way that they put the reviews out. Everyone just kind of has their own take.
I feel, I mean, like, I do think that there is, some bias to an extent. I don't, it's obviously not everyone there, because you look at someone like Destin, you look at some folks that are there. There are people who will rate a game and give it, their props or give it their critique one way or another. But I feel like based on some of the things we've heard recently, just like the Dan Stapleton thing with Starfield, right? Someone that was like, he wasn't even lined up to do it. And he's like, no, I'll go out and do that review. I think there's some of that where it's like someone that's like, no, I want the job. I want to keep busy with something. But I feel like sometimes they're putting people in these reviews that don't play these games either. It's like, you're not going to give someone that hates sports a Madden 2023 to give it a review.
So
Like that's foolish. Like, yes, they're gonna give it a horrible review. It'd be like if you gave me a review for Madden 2023, I'd be like, it's the same crap over and over again.
Silent, can
Good
you
job.
do me one favor, please? Can you please look up
Depends.
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? Tell me what was the rating to that game from IGN, please, because I gotta tell you something. I'm in this website, which is how long to beat, right? That's where I look for how long the games are to beat and stuff like that, right? So I'm looking up at all the Call of Duties, and basically, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is not a 4 hour game. It's a 5 hour game main story. Main plus extra 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
Completionist is 10.5 hours. But when you go to Black Ops Cold War, it's 5.5 hours. So I wonder what rating IGN gave that
That
back in the
is a
day.
solid 7. Sure.
Solid 7.
I can see the length, definitely people pushing it closer to 10 hours. If they complete everything, like I said, in those open world missions, you can go, and I think one mission had like 30 or like things you can collect in that's alone. So
It's like you were saying, right? Is like there's probably because of the layout, because it's not a linear mission like some of the Call of Duties have been in the past on missions. You can go from that A and skip all the way to Z and miss out on a bunch of different things and make it a short game. I mean, it's the same thing like what we were talking about with Alan Wake, right? Is yeah, you could probably make it a 12 to 13 hour game if you don't pay attention to a bunch of the other
Yep.
things that are going on around the map or
But
play and engage with that, environment.
But here's the thing, though. Didn't they say it was a 4 hour long story game or something like that? And they rushed through it real quick because the funny part is it seems like they rushed through it because in how long to beat, all the players are reporting that it's a 5 hour game. So basically, they gave that game a 4 because Xbox purchased it. We know that. That is true. I don't care what anybody says, that is true. Because if you look to, right, to Cold War, they gave it a solid 7 and it was just 30 minutes longer. Seriously? What the hell?
I would be very curious. I'm not gonna spend more time on that site than I have to because I don't like giving the clicks. But I would be very curious as to, again, like, who has reviewed these games in the past. Are they still around? Are they people that are involved with this? And who did this review? Like, I don't know who did this one specifically.
I know who did it because shout out to J Rock and
Oh,
thanks to him,
oh,
it was a guy who just played PlayStation games.
Was it the same guy I'm thinking of that was making the comment about Spider-Man? Please tell me it was.
It wasn't him. No, this guy had
Oh,
long
dang
hair,
it.
stuff like that. No, it wasn't that guy. But yes,
Man,
this guy
that
only
would have
played
made me
PlayStation
so
games
happy.
because when they looked at his history of reviewing games, there was Horizon Forbidden West. There was like a couple more. I was like, oh, this guy only reviews PlayStation games. So basically, he just went there and said, let me give it a 4 just for the hell of it. He did not give the game a try. He did not. I mean, look at Plume. Plume was talking about all the stuff he did in the game, how much he enjoyed it, even though he would have preferred, of course, the old campaign style things because we love the old campaign style Call of Duty. It's cool. It feels, it's interesting how they play it through. But with this one, they changed a couple things, and Plume was like, yeah, I kind of like this, but I loved it in a way. But this guy just literally said on his review video, this is dull, this is boring, this sucks, it doesn't double. He just like literally he just destroyed the game like it was a piece of trash game.
So, oh, sorry, never mind. I found a link that would have been way too convenient. It was one that said every IGN Call of Duty review score,
Mhm.
but I click it and it doesn't lead us to anywhere.
Oh,
so,
okay.
so there you go.
so
Yep.
if you've been hacked,
um,
we know what happened.
this guy's reviewed TV shows, movies, and PlayStation games. Go to his.
Yep.
Yeah.
sounds like a perfect fit.
Yep. Telling you.
Put this man on the job. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I had a friend. I have a friend that he played it recently, and he did not like it at all. But
sure.
so I guess it doesn't deserve probably a high score, but
No.
Bloom played it. He said
Yes.
a 6 to
Yeah.
maybe 7, depending on your liking. So obviously he was way off.
They gave Call of Duty Modern Warfare mobilized on Nintendo DS and 8.
What? Oh my god, seriously?
That IGN seal of quality.
Seal
right.
quality.
Well, let's move on to the next topic. Now, we like as Plume was talking about what would make this Call of Duty better and all that. I was thinking about like some of the tools that could help, envision what actually. Oh, hold on. My mic. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, envision some of the things that he had in mind were like, for example, like one thing he was mentioning, like there's mission where you go plant some bombs here and there. What if, for example, while you're doing that, one of your crew member gets kidnapped and you know that guides you to like another mission and all that. Like I feel like that would be interesting. So something that would help that would probably be like AI tools or AI, integrations into these video games. So apparently, Microsoft, it's partnered with, let me see the name, InWorld, and I thought this was great news, and all of a sudden, I jump into the real world Twitter, and apparently, apparently this is the end of the world. This is Skynet. I mean, you got people saying how horrible this is. This is gonna destroy the industry. This and that. And
Sorry, I got a question.
yes.
But when Yoshida said it back in March, it was wonderful.
Hold
Now it's
on, hold
horrible.
on.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going there. We're going there. I'm gonna pitch it to you. Hold
Louis
on.
fired
Hold on.
up. He's ready.
Oh
Hold
man,
on,
I'm
Lou.
pissed
I
off.
know
I'm
you're
telling
fired.
you.
I know you're
Can
fired.
we, before we jump to that,
I'm about to get my sword. That's what I'm about to do.
can I highlight something from chat real quick?
What's up?
Oh yes.
Our brother in chat, Eternal Shaddai, busting your balls about your microphone issues, says, keep buying those Temu mics, Sour.
What's a team like though? Before I start laughing.
That makes
I'm
it
not
even
gonna lie,
funny.
you sounded like you got possessed there for a second when it happened. So I'm glad everything's good.
I'm okay. But what's not okay was this comment I found. I mean, I do admire this person, and I think she talks. She brings a lot of great perspective into the industry, and she comments about a lot of the things that are happening around the industry, especially when it affects developers. And I do feel that most of the time, developers, they are targeted by us gamers, and sometimes a little bit too harsh because I feel like a lot of the times is not their fault what's happening. It's more, of the higher heads in the company. But here's what she has to say, and this is Alana Pierce. She says, "Imagine announcing this in a year where the game industry has laid off plus 6,000 people. I will never play any game that InWorld has any part in making," which I understand her point in a way, but at the same time, I think it's a little bit hypocritical when you're working for a company that's actually also working on tools, on AI tools that are going to help video games. So, what are you going to quit your job because of that? I mean, to me, it makes no sense. I do think that AI tools and, AI in general could be, harmful for the industry, but it's also could be, a great thing for the industry. I think it all depends on how you use it. Lou, I know you wanted to add a Yoshida comment and you fired up because
Yeah, I'm fired up.
you want to say some things. So tell me.
You want me to say what I gotta say? Because here's the thing, though. Back in March of this year, wasn't so long ago. I just love how people tend to forget, right? People tend to forget things that happened. Shuhei Yoshida was talking about AI in an article, and he said this. This is one of his quotes on what he said. AI can produce very strange things, as you must have seen. You really have to be able to use the tool well. AI will change the nature of learning for game developers, but in the end, development will be more efficient and more beautiful things will be made by people. Seriously, what? How come you're against this, Alana? I mean, AI is a thing, especially look at all these games that have been coming up with bugs. AI will help these developers discover bugs more quicker and fix them. I mean, what's wrong with you, Alana? What's wrong? Are you afraid they're
Well,
gonna fire people or something? No, it's just gonna help out more in developing and make it faster too. That's a
so
bonus.
here's the thing, right? Like I understand it in a voice acting capacity because anymore, like you can jump onto TikTok or whatever, you can watch, and literally, I I just saw a deep fake one of Schwarzenegger a couple days ago that made me laugh so much because like it fit really well, and it was super creepy. But it's one of those things where it's like it wasn't anything that Schwarzenegger had ever said, but because of AI, because of the tech and stuff nowadays, you can mimic and you can get people's voices. You can do stuff like that,
But
and they're not even using high tech tools. They're using like TikTok and like smartphone apps, right? So I do understand the idea that like it can cut certain people out of that side of things, but
nah.
that depends on the developer too. It
Here's the,
depends on what they want to do with that.
here's the thing though, Silent. Shout out to Uncle Arnie, which I love him to death. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the man. I love him. I
I'll
love him.
figure out which one it is and send it to you guys.
Yeah, but
Continue.
here's the thing though, Silent. This is an old technology thing because back in the day when he did Hercules in New York, he did not know that much English, so they dubbed his
Right.
voice with another voice. So this is an old thing. So
But that's not the same. That's not the same because like you aren't replacing that person completely without another voice actor. Like you're that's the thing, right? Like with the AI stuff, you can just like you Schwarzenegger or someone who sounds like Schwarzenegger isn't making any money off of that whatsoever. It's literally just an AI generated thing that they did versus like on a lot of these things. Look at something like Alan Wake. Okay. Alan Wake is a good example of this. You've got the main character who is not voiced by the voice actor. Like it's a different person doing the actual character than it is the voice acting for that character.
right.
That person's still getting paid for likeness and stuff like that if he has likeness, but he's getting his voice acting, and the guy that's getting his likeness is getting paid for that likeness. The idea is that AI could replace those people getting paid and allow dev studios to then save money by not having to bring those people in.
All right.
So that's where it gets tricky, is because you could replace them in ways, and so I understand the idea, but do I think it's going to happen anytime soon? I doubt it. I think there'd be too much of a blowback for it.
Mm-hmm.
Silent, let me tell you something. Let me
Whoa.
tell you something.
Is that supposed to be Trump?
Is that supposed to be me? That's a 5 cent voice of me.
Sourblow, let me tell you, okay?
Sound
I've
blow.
been in court for the last few days,
Oh Lord,
and I
don't
don't
don't.
appreciate you stealing my voice
Yep.
just because I'm absent, okay? Unbelievable what you're doing right now.
Poor Trump.
Yeah, that was supposed to be Trump. But anyway,
That was creepy sounding,
Let,
man.
let,
really.
let me add something that Dark said real quick. It says, as
Okay, go
demand.
ahead.
Wait. Before we
Oh,
continue, this just
Yeah.
proves that humans are better than AI.
exactly.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Silent's voice was way better.
It was.
There
Man,
you
that's
go.
horrible. The only thing I love about that voice thing is when you can do the Darth Vader voice because hey, we love that. What's this guy's name?
Not everyone has the
Yeah,
vocal tones
Yeah.
that James Earl Jones has.
James Earl Jones. Yes. Oh man, he does such an awesome voice acting. But anyways, as Dark says, as demand for games increase, there needs to be tools to help with game development. Also, cut costs and budgets, which are getting out of control. Which is that is true too.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, anything that can help these developers, instead of having a game be released to 6 to 8 years, with AI, they could release it like in 3 to 4 years or even less. You know, and then after that, after releasing that game, they can jump into another project or work on other projects, which pretty much they need all the help they can get, which is crazy.
Yeah. Here's another thing too that I wanted to add. Um, a lot of people talk about, how AI could be harmful for the gaming industry, and the truth is that it could be harmful because a lot of people's job could be replaced with AI, but at the same time, they don't think about it's gonna also create new jobs. What happened is some people are going to have to adapt, and they're gonna have to learn these new tools and find a way to be useful. And this is not the first time where technology has done this. Like there's a bunch of other stuff that has been, you know, happening throughout the years. I mean, I can think of like when I was like probably like what in school when people have beepers and stuff like that. You don't see that around. And then you had the big phones and etc. And the big computers with the big, like technology keeps advancing and we have to adapt and find ways to be useful.
Uh, prime example, a prime example of something like this that has been adopted for the last little bit. That it does drive a lot of efficiency and reduces the amount of manpower needed for processes. Is something like automation, right? You look at something like a Power Automate or something like a Power BI or something like that, where you're actually automating processes that someone could spend hours and hours and hours on in a given year or a week or month or whatever. And those are things where, like, yeah, you can reduce it, but it's not necessarily that you're replacing that person. Because, like, you're still going to have someone on the back end that still has to watch this, still has to make
Yes.
sure it's operating. But also, like, yeah, maybe you're reducing their time that they have to spend on a certain project, but that's to allow them to excel and focus on other
Other
projects. That's
pro-
not necessarily getting rid of the jobs, right? It's just allowing them more time to focus on more important things that a computer can just crunch away.
Yeah. Also, when it comes to video games, I also feel that you can have these AI tools that can build, can build environment faster, can build NPCs that can do certain things, etc. You can make all these tools, but at the end of the day, the human touch is what actually give game, like you can tell when things like you play Starfield, for example. When you play Starfield, you can tell when there's an area when it's like generated or when it has that human touch. Like you can definitely feel the difference. And I feel as long, like, unless an AI can actually become a human, I don't see where the human will be entirely replaced, which that would be kind of scary.
Now this is the nightmare fuel that I was talking about, and I just want you to see it just so you can understand why it creeped me out. But this I won't play it for long. I just wanted you to experience it, just so you can appreciate what I'm saying.
I was
Hmm.
wondering if you would be my girl. I was wondering if you know like other guys. That's why I love you.
So, like
Corny.
like I said, like there are things that they can do like that now that it's nuts. But do I think it's actually going to affect things this soon? No. I mean, we've been talking about it for years. Like you guys brought up, Shuhei mentioned it. That's been a while. Like
Yeah.
even if stuff like this gets adopted, it's not
I,
necessarily going to get rid of positions. It
Yep.
might
I
get rid of
also feel
some,
that
but
real quick for that. I feel like there's gonna be laws implemented where somehow the original boys
yeah.
gets benefit, even
I'll be yeah, I'll be very curious over the next little bit, like how this all works out, right? Because
yeah,
like right now, you can literally just pull up, like you can generate something on your phone right now through AI generator and have like the most ridiculous photo in the span of like 30 seconds. And it's one of those things where it's like that's cool, but if people do actually get affected by something like this, I do wonder what type of laws and stuff will go into place as we move forward. Like, this is new technology in regards to where it's at now. It's cutting edge. So the question is, like, how does government approach it in the future?
It's like the AI, the whole thing. When I first saw it too, I was like thinking about all of the cool things that could be done with this. You think about open worlds, right? You think about NPCs just walking down the street. Who, a lot of games, you walk up to them, they just keep you talk to them, they repeat the same line over and over again. Think about when AI comes in, especially with this partnership with Xbox, where the in-world AI Copilot app basically is going to allow them to create dialogue, and do a bunch, create NPC dialogue, everything like that, right? They could just use that to make more immersion within their game, stuff that like a human isn't even writing. But they use this platform to be able to make worlds just cooler. When you're walking up to any NPC, they may have multiple lines of dialogue, but they don't have to. They weren't hiring somebody to write that, and now they really wouldn't even have to think about that.
Let me say something
Yeah.
real quick before you jump in. Cowboy. No one's trying to be you. No one wants to be a lame cowboy, okay?
Oh,
Whoa.
Continue,
Attack the
Simon.
guy. He's
why you so rude to poor Cowboy's a cool guy. He's gonna kick Cowboy. He
No,
lives close to you. Go kick him.
I'm actually, hopefully, we're gonna meet soon.
I hope he kicks you though and makes a live out of kicking you. I wouldn't do that.
Cowboy, you heard it. You're first right now. Set up your camera so that way when you meet him, you can like kick him in the shin.
I'm taking some security.
Chuck Norris kick. Yeah, do the Chuck Norris kick.
But no, I again, like I will be very curious, like just like what Plume's saying, right? The idea that they can expound on these conversations and they can make a character like the guy that we run into in Alan Wake that's sitting out there in the middle of the street doing nothing. Like, provide a script for that character so that way like he just goes off and talks about something. Like, you could set something and be like, okay, by the way, like this person's just going to talk about the weather, right? And so you could set a script like that and set it so he's based on the time of day or whatever, he just has a script that is just automatically generated. Now, that's one thing that I would be very curious as to, like, as things move forward with this, with voice acting, how do they compensate that person in the fact that they did originally provide that voice sample? Like, they'd have to almost change the pay scales or like how they pay that person, because like if they're going to use them that thoroughly in a certain area or something, like, you know, you want to make sure the person's getting paid. You're not having them say like, I bought an apple at the store, and then like that person gets AI generated and you use them for like 40 hours of dialogue because of AI. Like, I'd be curious as to how they have to balance things out in the future to pay people in regards to stuff like that, or if they do.
Yeah, and I mean the reality of the situation is right now you look at what's going on in the games industry. People are getting laid off left and right, and it's because the development costs are going through the roof to make these games. It's from everything we're seeing, it is absolutely not sustainable. So AI or not, like if something comes in here and reduces the cost, maybe in the future there'll be less layoffs. Maybe job security at these companies will be better, right? But
I think it'd be better if we stopped paying the upper management that barely even touches the product as much as they get paid, and actually pay the people who are making the games.
Yeah, the other thing that with these tools, I feel like, small developers actually will be able to create like much bigger things and much impressive things. Because like if you look at like this generation alone, like for example, you look at a game, I think it's called like Bright Memory Infinite. Sure, it's not like the greatest game in the world or anything like that, but that game was made by one developer. And when you play that game and look at everything it does and how it looks, I feel like that game is very impressive to be like one person. Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
So
That's
imagine what we're gonna be able to do like as things advance.
exactly like I said. This is gonna help you out. I mean, like for example, when these guys develop the game, right? They got to pay a lot of close attention to the detail before releasing it. Can you imagine like they sit down and tell the AI, "Hey, listen, check this scene for me," and just leave it there. In 24 hours they get results and say, "Okay, we found an error here. Go correct it here. Go fix this here." And then like they do the retest again, and everything works out perfectly, and they can release the game without having such a buggy mess. Like lately, they've been having
Yeah,
those issues.
Yeah.
there's a lot of way it could help. Definitely.
It's exactly. It's about using it for good, not for
Exactly.
evil.
Not
Right?
for evil, yeah.
It's like most tech or most things in general, right? Is like it's going to be super beneficial in ways if you use it in that way. If you choose to be a nightmare person and do bad things with it, like, yes, we're going to run into issues where people will abuse it. But there are a lot of things. It's like you were saying, they could literally automate the AI to go in, search for specific errors, .ini errors, or like clipping errors or stuff like that in the code. And they could go through and they could actually do a lot more of that testing in such a short period of time.
Let me
That'd be beneficial for us.
let me make a quick shout out to T Craft. He mentions this. He says movie writers use AI, then rewrite to correct things, etc., etc. Trust me, all in-game movie, even in music, use AI. Which I did a search and he's right though. I mean, 100% right. They're using AI to make movies. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I feel like one of the things too this generation that a lot of people feel like, oh, you don't see that much like improvement, and I think the reason for that, like, people just think, graphically, but I think this generation, what's going to be the biggest jump in the long run is basically the AI integration. Once, once once in AI it's further developed, because these like processors are way more capable than the previous one,
Mhm.
and the hardware itself, the GPU and everything. Once developer master that, you know, this will help them not only for this generation but also the next, and they're gonna be able to do so much more with the games. Like there're gonna be like some scenarios that we probably can't even like think about it right now in our head, but that's gonna be the real advancement this generation, I feel like.
All right. All right.
So yeah, basically, I guess we can move on to the next topic.
Moving on up.
In short, I guess what Sour's trying to say is Sour doesn't like to support the developers. Okay, he wants to see everyone on the curb. Never mind.
Not true, not true. I support my developers. I bought Alan Wake too. Okay.
Oh,
Attaboy. I was
Attaboy.
happy.
I used some Microsoft rewards, but I bought it.
Hey.
I earned that. Okay.
Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good.
All right. Well, anyway, today we got a small little announcement. Nothing huge. Twitter's going crazy over it, but
Yeah.
apparently, Rockstar has just announced GTA 6 trailer coming December. What is your hype level? Crazy. Let's start with you.
Nah, I'm not hype. I'm sorry. I just was like, another GTA. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course we're hype, man. Finally, I mean, when was the last time GTA was announced? I mean, I even had more hair. Seriously, I was looking for a picture when I was in 2013, which I couldn't find, but I basically have more hair than I do now. Damn, that was a long ass time ago. I'm happy. they
Silent
finally
had
announced
hair.
Me too.
Silent
I had
hair.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, dear
I had
Lord.
hair the last time. Oh my god, that is true. I had hair the last time a GTA released.
Damn, that was. I mean, seriously, I'm hype. I'm
Wow.
happy they're actually talking about it and they actually said something that it's gonna be announced. Now, the question is, where will it be announced? That is the question. Will it be announced in the Jeff Keighley show?
No.
No. Will Al Pacino be in the Jeff Keighley this year?
Oh god, no. No, he's too busy dealing with his new baby.
Oh, he needs to be there, because last year he was there, he was collecting that
You,
money for that
No,
you
baby.
know,
no, dude.
Oh,
He's 83 and he's got a new baby.
I
He
know.
can't be away from the house.
Oh, he can't.
you know what's gonna be the best thing about the Game Awards this
What's up?
year?
What's
That
up?
the God of War actor is not going to pick a
Dear
winner.
Lord,
Oh,
thank
Oh
thank
my
God.
God.
Oh,
God!
thank God. Yes.
13
Oh
minutes
Lord.
of my life I wish I could get
Oh
back.
Lord. That
Holy.
was long.
I mean, kudos to him. He did a
But
great
dang,
job, but like
dang.
with the
I'm
speeches,
He
I
even
I'm
think
said
he
glad he's
overdid
proud of
it.
his work, but man,
he even said thank you to his dog Poochie and his goldfish Jolly. Dang. Lord.
but no, crazy. In all seriousness, it's Rockstar. It's GTA. They're not gonna put it on anyone's showcase. Like first, they will announce it on their own. They have a track record of this where they're literally like, "Hey, by the way, next week we're dropping a trailer," and they will just do their own showcase thing, or they'll just drop it on YouTube, and the internet will explode. They don't care about aligning themselves necessarily because like they're gonna make the money one way or another. It's not they're in a different league than a lot of
I
these
I
companies
mean,
are.
to be fair, I think they probably wouldn't mind putting it in the Games Award, and the reason why is I don't even think they have to pay Keefly. They just tell Keefly, Keefly will be like, "Oh
Keithley, it's
yes,
Keeley,
yes,
not Keithley.
Oh
Who's
yeah,
Keithley?
but he
whatever's his
but
name."
I bet you though, like they would do their own thing and then they would show the trailer over and show like 10 extra
Or
seconds
say
worth
yeah, or
or
something
something
like
at
that.
it.
Yeah,
Because they don't have to worry about it. Like it's gonna sell itself.
yeah.
GTA 5 at this point is somewhere over 160 million copies sold now, I think. They don't care. They have FU money for days.
So let me ask you this question: what do you think this GTA 6 has to do to like in order to like do what it always does? Do you think like do you think a GTA 5 basically just with better graphics and but plays the same way? Do you think that would be sufficient, or do you think if they do something like that, they will get like bombarded in everywhere, like people will be mad, etc.
Plume, do you want to jump on that?
Who?
Pro,
Oh,
pro,
Yeah.
you're muted.
pro, use your globe, your
Hello.
insider.
All right.
There we go.
Sorry. Ask that again.
So, so basically, do you think if GTA 6 would release as like let's say GTA 5 just like looking better, a different story, but same playability, just looking a little bit better. Do you think that would be sufficient, or do you think it will actually be like strongly criticized? What do you think would happen?
I honestly I don't think people care that much. It's GTA. Like I
Is
think no matter
GTA?
they can put it out and people are gonna go crazy for it, and there'll be a new story, there'll be new characters. And I think honestly, in a new city, probably bigger, probably have more interactivity with it, like more places you can go into, all that type of stuff. I think that alone, even if graphically is kind of similar, there was like a next gen update for GTA 5, which actually looks very good. I don't know if you guys ever tried that out, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, that looks
Yeah, yeah.
phenomenal.
Dude, visually, even now, dude,
Yeah,
like you jump back into it now and it still holds up so well.
yeah.
So
So I don't know how much like it'll look better than that, but like how much better? I don't know if it'll be that mind blowingly better, but it's gonna look good.
I know it's early, but what would you guess the score would be?
GTA
Ah,
6.
Yeah.
five, four, if it's IGN and if Xbox is promoting it, I'll give it a 3 out of 10.
Damn it! You took it. I was gonna ask that after he gave he gave the original answer.
I would be surprised if it gets lower than a 9.
Now, if Xbox has the marketing,
2.5.
2.5. That's wrong.
Oh Lord.
Oh man. But like, what are you expecting to see new from GTA 6, or what would you like to see?
New story, obviously, new characters. I don't know. We're at. I think just kind of more of the same with just an interesting plot line and stuff. Pretty much, like obviously
Yeah.
GTA 5, you had the different characters that you switch between, and then this one will be like they're saying it's going to be like Bonnie and Clyde. So I wonder how that's going to work if you're going to going between two different storylines, or if it's just going to be one, and then you have.
Do you want them to bring out like some older mechanics, like the weight, like the bicycle weightlifting, or the thing where like you kind of like level up certain things?
Like San Andreas.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe if they made it kind of like they had some RPG stuff in there. I don't know. Get like you could level your character up, make them stronger, like you said. There's a lot of things that they could do with it, but I think like it's such a staple franchise. It's already made like over $1 billion. They're gonna
Should they add loading screen?
yeah. Oh, that would be great. That would actually be great if they literally had some seamless loading screens because of the PS5 SSD, where they could just warp between areas.
Oh,
Oh no.
crazy. Tell us.
Oh my god.
What do you want to see new? What do you want to see new on GTA? Do you want the what was it, the crouch shot?
Nah, I'll be on. Let me jump real quick, right? With
You
this.
are there. You're on
Oh, I'm
screen.
there. Oh yeah, I'm screen. Yeah, real quick.
Nice and handsome.
Oh, thank you. I look like a young Brad Pitt. I know. But either way, though, um, let's go back to Red Dead Redemption 2, right? I mean, you all saw Red Dead Redemption 2, how impressive it was, and how different it was from the original one. When you sit down and you play the original Red Dead, you're like, damn, this the character feels different. He doesn't like run around as much as the old Red Dead Redemption first one and stuff like that. It feels like more realistic. For GTA 6, I can imagine like it's gonna be way better than how Red Dead Redemption 2 was. Graphically, I feel like the character is gonna be more realistic than GTA 5. That's probably what's gonna be what we're gonna get with it. I don't know what's Simon saying. What?
Dude, no, G maybe you don't get to remove gold
Exactly.
like that after you say something.
Exactly. Remember.
Yeah, G maybe I saw what you posted. Did you see it crazy?
Yes, I
didn't
did.
see
Yeah.
it. I didn't see it.
Real quick.
He's
Real
like,
quick. You want? I know what he's
Armpit
armpit. Yeah.
instead of Brad Pitt. Don't remove that G maybe. You should be proud of that. That was fun.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun. But real quick, let me wrap this thing. Yeah. G maybe. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He told
I'm
me
so-
I did not
I'm
wrap
so
his name.
sorry.
So,
Do you have the
So
poll of the
sorry,
week
Jimmy.
ready?
yes, it is ready. It
Okay,
is ready.
okay.
It is ready. But wait, when we talking about GTA 5? What? I mean GTA 6?
You're not done?
We're not. Did you ask something about GTA 6? You didn't.
Oh, silent.
Exactly.
Silent's
Yeah.
like it's silent.
I was waiting. I thought you were going to say something.
Exactly.
I don't really care about Grand Theft Auto, so
Oh, you don't?
I think it'll
Ooh.
be okay. It'll be the same old. No, dude. Of course, I'm gonna play it. The question that I have, because like, we've got this game coming out after the massive success of GTA 5. So I'll end my conversation with this, but I am super stoked for GTA. I don't know what they're going to do in regards to this. Like, it would be cool to see some return characters, but I'm sure they probably will just have a new couple characters. Like Plume was mentioning, it did come out at one point about like the Bonnie and Clyde stuff, so maybe that reduces it down. We only have 2 characters we're playing as, and we're just experiencing it from those 2 storylines instead. I'll be very curious as to how they approach it, but the biggest question I have with this is after the success of GTA 5, how do you think there's even a snowball's chance that they're going to manage to get to the same level that they are with GTA 5? Like with 6, I could still see it selling extremely well, but I just don't know how they're going to hit this number.
They just need to release it over the next 3 generations.
Yeah. Just add it to every shark
Yes.
card, even $10 denomination ones. Dude, it's nuts. And like, let it be clear, like, if people hear that 150, 160 million purchases, understand a lot of those were padded by the fact that they literally were giving you the game for free with Game Shark, or with the shark cards on like the multiplayer experience. I think you could usually get it for like the $20 cards or anything higher. So that definitely padded their numbers, but even then I'm just curious, like, do you think this game is going to actually live up to the giant shadow that GTA 5 cast?
I think it will. I think it will because here's the thing though. What made GTA fun was all the modding stuff they did with those crazy maps, like when you had the bicycle racing wars or the motorcycle things. I mean, GTA is like really, you can make it a serious game, or you can make it a fun game or a funny game. I mean, it's just awesome, the ideas they came out with, and not only that, the content. It just got to add the content and keep players going up to it, because that's what made it amazing. Just all that content they added to that game, which made it really fun.
So then I have one other question to throw to you guys, and I want all of your opinions on this, but we have a new game coming out. Louis brings up a very good point of, if they support the multiplayer, this thing could probably live on and continue to be a same success. What do we do with the current GTA Online then? Does it stick around, or do they make a new one? Or do they just continue building on top of the one that's already there?
Or they could just add it to it, just add everything to it, and just continue with it. That could be a cool process. Then like bring everything you have from there, bring it over
like
here.
Upgrade it to basically like GTA Online 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever it would be, and just have it like all the visuals, all of the new functionality, all that stuff basically reset but free, so people could access it and they could access their previously purchased. Plume, what do you think?
I don't think it will be free.
Well, never say never, because GTA Online is free.
No, it's not. You got to pay $10 for it now.
Is it $10 now?
Yep, you got to pay $10. Same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2. You got to pay $10. But the online for Red Dead Redemption 2 was horrible. I mean,
online for the first Red Dead was awesome.
What? Yeah, they started charging $10.
When separately, right? Like if you bought the game, you get it for free.
Yeah, right? You got it for free, but now they even though for the years now they started charging $10, and you got to pay for it in order to play online. Which happened one day when I was accessing it. You said you got to pay $10 to play. I was like, what? Son of a. Yep.
That's interesting.
I mean, I saw that. I don't know if it's true. Let me check.
The more you know if that's legit, but I was not aware of that. So, Plume, what do you think?
Yeah, there's so many players in GTA 5. The thing is insane online, and that it was something that they put out after they released the single player part of the game, right? It was something they built up after that.
Yes, yeah, they announced both of them initially, but they were like, we're doing this, and then we're doing the multiplayer 6 months down the road, or whatever it ended up being.
Yeah, my bad. It's still completely free. I think it was only for Red Dead. I thought you had to pay for that.
Okay. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like it would be a way smarter move to just kind of add an addition to the current GTA and call it like the GTA 6 expansion, and maybe kind of do what they did with Fortnite, where they had like the Unreal Engine 5 upgrade, and you just get kind of like a brand new game with it, and just try to migrate as many players. I feel like that's what they're going to do, to be honest. Like releasing a brand new GTA Online right now with the amount of people in there seems like a pretty dumb business move. But
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, maybe they're thinking they can double dip on people, and people who have GTA 5 Online will also go and pay for GTA 6 Online or whatever it is. But
yeah. Oh, here's the thing, though. It's I just caught up with this. I just read about it. It says you need, in order to play Red Dead Redemption 2, it's Red Dead Online is a separate game. So if you do have Red Dead Redemption 2, you get the free access experience to the online. But why the heck did I pay this $10?
Separate? Well, I mean, it allows them to make more money off of Red Dead. Red Dead, based on everything that we know of it, did not meet their sales expectations. So I'm sure that their hope was that $10 would be an impulse buy for a lot of people to be like, well, I'll play the multiplayer. And so they, got those extra subs. But I would be curious as to how much they actually made in regards to people that just bought the $10 version. Because like the multiplayer for that, unless they played the original game, they're like, oh man, I loved that multiplayer. But like if they played the original and they loved it, then you'd think that they probably would have bought the full game. So I'm curious how many they probably sold at that $10
So,
price point.
so I got a quick question because there was a rumor which HD Gaming Nate brought up, and that is about what about the rumor price tag GTA 6 is going to cost $150? Would you guys pay
Oh.
$150 for that game?
No.
Is that too
No.
much? Damn, I wouldn't pay that much of money.
That's crazy.
I mean, if I gotta pay $150, I mean GTA 6 better give me, I don't know, like probably, I don't know what they gotta give me for that much
It's
money.
better we
Nervous.
don't know. I think it's
Yeah,
better we
I'm
don't know.
Damn.
Anyway, I just wanted to say I agree with Plume with what I think they should do.
Yeah.
Now, what I think they will do is probably what Plume said, but they will probably charge you some extra for that.
For the expansion
Like,
of it
yes.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, probably like maybe do like a one time or something to get into it. And then, probably what you think like 20, 30 bucks.
With probably
At
$30
least.
with the hype
Yeah.
of the new one. Yeah.
So realistically, like 150, I'm going to go ahead and smash that right now.
150 bears?
That's I'm going to smash the $150 rumor. Like, there's no way that crap is happening. But
What if it's
let's say-
150 with the online and it's a new
It's-
online?
No. So that's what I was going to say is it'll end up being $70 for the core game. It'd be maybe $30 max for the multiplayer.
What if it's
you're still
this
talking
150 with, and it includes the Bond story, the Clyde story, and the multiplayer.
Did you say Bond?
Oh,
That's
Bonnie
like your
and
Is
Clyde,
it Bond? Is that
the
like
Bonnie,
007
the
maybe?
Clyde, and
No.
anyway,
Wait,
Lou,
Strauss Zelnick. Hold on.
The Bonnie and the Clyde. So you're separating Bonnie and Clyde, which is it's the same thing. Sour.
no, because it's two different person. So
Oh,
I'm saying, they charge for.
Sour. You don't
It's
know
Rockstar.
You don't
They'll
know
get
who
your money.
Bonnie. You don't know who Bonnie and Clyde is. I mean,
I know who Bonnie and Clyde is. Two different person.
Yeah.
Isn't it two different person?
He knows who James Bond and Clyde are.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, crazy. Do you got that poll ready?
Yeah, it's ready. It's ready. Anything you guys want to add up to GTA before we ran real quick to the poll of the week?
I just really quick want to return the $150 thing. That's no.
That's like the 150 beers.
$100, yes. Between the campaign and the multi, I see a world where that would happen. $150 though.
You say that now, and when it comes out, you'll be the first one.
Strauss Zelnick is not an idiot. 150 is a little bit of a reach. Strauss is not an idiot.
To pay 150, they gotta give me all GTA games all put together for me to pay $150, man. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. But yeah, let's jump really quick to the poll of the week, which is what is going on with Bungie? Is it Bungie being Bungie, Sony at fault, both Sony and Bungie's fault, or let's blame the Xbox? Why blame the Xbox Series S? Seriously, why did everybody's got to blame the poor Xbox Series S and everything? Poor Xbox. Seriously, they all blame it. And the winner is Sourblow. Give me the drum roll. It's both Sony and Bungie's at fault. And in second place, it came with Let's Play the Xbox Series S, which seriously, I don't know why people would, which came up with a 21%. Sony, wait, oh, Bungie being Bungie and Sony have followed is actually a tie. That's amazing. Both of them being a tie. Huh. But yeah, there's a lot of issues going on over there with Bungie. Dear Lord. So much gave me bad news this past month of October. There's only one good news, and that is that the buy went through, that was actually the only good news that came by. But dang, a lot of
The buy.
firing.
The what?
Yeah, the purchase. The
What
Xbox.
purchase?
Oh, you forgot about the purchase? Okay, then let's not think about the purchase then.
Oh, I thought you meant like
thought you were
over
talking
on
about
that
on
the
Sony
blue.
side.
Yeah, me too.
I was
I'm
like,
like,
dude, there hasn't been much of any good news over there recently.
Yeah, as I'm saying, the only good news is on the Xbox side that the purchase
I mean,
Activision
Spider-Man
Blizz.
was a good news for them, but other than
Yeah,
that,
how good news it was.
Yeah.
That they even
It
today
was
they posted that they fixed a bunch of bugs, and it was like 3,000 bugs they were fixing in that game. Damn.
I mean,
It was
it is
like-
what it is. Like,
It was like 10 to
What?
12 hours of good news, and now everyone's over it, and they're either playing other games or they're not playing anything. So,
The sad part is nobody talked a lot about Spider-Man. That's the sad part. I mean, everybody was just talking about
actually,
the buy.
yeah, it was like, I mean, they talked for a little bit, but it was like a couple of weeks maybe.
it was like a fart in an elevator. Everyone was like, "Whew." that left a mark, and then it faded away, and now no one wants to talk about it. So
That's crazy. That is crazy. That nobody talked about Spider-Man as much, which it probably was a good game. I haven't played it yet.
Let me ask you guys one last question because
All
I know
right.
we're ending. What do you guys think about Miles Morales taking over as the new Spider-Man officially?
nah,
Silence. You're not digging it.
no, dude, I don't know. I guess it goes back to like I feel like
Is
I
it
feel
because
like we're-
is it because he was Cuban and then Puerto Rican when they fixed it?
yeah, because he changed his his allegiance. No, my thing is like we see this in superhero side of things all the time now, and it's frustrating. Is like, let him be his own character. Like, have him be a different character. You don't have to replace the character all the time. Like the Captain America swap with Falcon that is potentially going to happen or whatever. Like, I don't hang up the mantle and put a different character into play. Like, or make Falcon more interesting. Like, make Miles Morales more interesting. Have him have his own character. Quit trying to change up the characters that we've had in the past. I feel like we could be more creative in the industry and maybe just make more compelling characters instead of being like, we know Spider-Man will sell, so we're going to call him Spider-Man now. Like, come on. We could do better.
I mean, technically he is Spider-Man, but
Shut up.
I get your point.
Shut up.
He is
my
Spider-Man.
That's why they call it the multiverse. Different things happen in all of our Marvel's universe. Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
personally, I would jump in real quick.
Oh,
I'm gonna say this.
boy.
Listen up. Listen to me. Sourblow.
Sourblow. Sourblow.
Sourblow, let me tell you about 150 beers, Sourblow.
Sourblow.
Personally, I can't. Probably, my opinion probably don't matter because I haven't really played it. So
Then
you
get
know,
out. What are you
I don't know
talking
how
about?
I don't know how the story
Then
really
don't-
goes.
then don't
But
talk
I
about
personally
it.
feel that only being like two Spider-Man, I think it's a little bit early to get rid of Peter Parker probably.
Yeah.
But it all depends how the story really lays out. I do like that. Finally, there's some Latinos getting some some highlight in the video games, they're being highlighted and all that. But I do
Make them their own badass character.
I was gonna say that.
Instead of just literally, oh, Spider-Man, we know it'll sell, so now you're called Spider-Man. It's
I was
Like they
hoping.
could make a better character.
Personally, I was hoping that they were going to put Spider Pig as the next one.
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig's the hey, Plume, you joke, but I hear Sony's really focused on DLC over the next like year or two. So maybe they'll take you up on that idea.
If they do
Spider
that,
Lou.
Spider
Be
Pig
buying-
coming 2024.
I'll be in.
Spider-Man coming
Yeah, I mean,
2024.
it is what it is, I guess. Anyone else want to say something before we land the plane? Crazy, you're just thinking of something. Let's land the plane.
I just want to say
wait, Simon want to say something.
you folks in chat, you're being messy.
Yes, they are.
What is the chat saying?
I'm all
Oh
here
no!
for it, but I'm not
no,
gonna say all
no,
of it.
we're not gonna say it. No, we're not gonna say it. No. It's just either way, though. Here's what I think. You know, I agree with you guys on the whole idea they should make their own heroes. And man, yeah, 100%. I mean, they shouldn't just change them. I mean, leave Superman the way he is, leave Batman the way he is, leave Spider-Man the way he is. Create something new. You be creative. I mean, nowadays you just gotta be creative and just invent something and make it cool and popular, make it amazing. I mean, seriously, do that.
Crazy Cat, can I jump in real quick and
Go
say
ahead.
something?
What's up?
I also feel like there's a lot of characters you can actually pick, and actually, like Silent said, make them more interesting. Because if you look at the movies, Iron Man was not really one of the most popular,
Nope.
Marvel characters. But they did such a great job that people actually got invested into him. And he became one of the most popular ones.
They
And I
chose
feel
the
like
right person for the job, and they made it a compelling story. They made
Yes.
people care.
exactly.
Except for the third movie. Except for that one.
Third one
wasn't that. I think the second one
just
was
fine.
worse. No?
Number
Yeah.
2, stupid jumping jacks Mickey Rourke. That was dumb.
Yeah.
That character, garbage can.
Yeah. But yeah, bring other characters, make a Static Shock game.
That's something I really want to, man. I want a Static Shock movie. I want a Static Shock game. I want all that stuff. Static Shock is awesome. I really wish
Yeah.
they focus on him. Oh man, that would be a great game and a great movie. He's such a cool character, DC. Seriously.
All right, Lou, let's land the plane.
All right, let's land the plane, Sabo. I know you want to go. But anyways, guys, it's been one heck of a crazy, fantastic, awesome show. We covered a lot of cool stuff. It's been amazing. Chat. You guys have been messy today. Seriously. There's one comment I just do not want to say it. That was just so funny.
Yeah. No,
You want to say it, but you don't. You probably shouldn't.
I probably should. It was from Rachie. I'm just not gonna say it, Rachie. I was still laughing from that comment, guy. But it was such a fun episode. Let's get to our shows. Let's start with the big Plume. Tell us, brother, where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, you can find me YouTube, Plume Network, Plume Network, and I'm starting to put my daily shows on Spotify, so you can find me there too. I think you can just type in Plume Network.
I ran into them.
Yeah, well, there you go.
All right. That's awesome. How about you, Sourblow? Lionel Richie wannabe. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
You can find me here. You can find me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and Xbox, Sourblow18. And you can also find me sometimes, some Fridays, with Eternal Shaddai, ASCAP Gaming, and now the new member, Elvio, in Xbox International en Español. So, go check those guys out. And if you don't speak Spanish, maybe you can learn some Spanish. If not, send your friends that can speak Spanish, like Plume. Plume is de lo mío, personal, Dominican.
Biblioteca.
That's my kind of Espanol right there.
That's it, kind of a biblioteca. Yeah, there you go, there you go. Now, speaking of biblioteca, la biblioteca del gaming, nuestro calvo favorito, Silent Cypher. Please tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
I honestly don't know how to follow that up, but you can find me on the social medias, Xbox. You can find me all over the place as Silent Cypher. Hopefully, you'll find me on Twitter and TikTok and stuff again soon. And hopefully, now that my voice is starting to come back, maybe you'll see some stuff on the voice acting side.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I feel like every time that I was getting ready to start up on something or make some progress, damn kids keep bringing germs home, and I feel like I've been sick forever. But I think we're on the up and up now. So hopefully we'll be up and running soon. You won't catch me this Friday, but you will catch me again starting next Friday on Mr. Boomstick's show on Friday mornings, hanging out with the awesome crew there. And besides that, I don't have much. Hopefully, I won't have too much because I still got to catch up on sleep and just try and kick the last little bit of this sickness. But yeah, it was great hanging out with you guys. Chat. Like Crazy mentioned, you guys were messy today, but you were awesome, and I'm all here for it. It was hilarious. I liked seeing some new faces, lots of familiar faces, and the conversation was interesting. Is probably the proper way to say it. So thanks, guys.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, where can you find the crazy ones? Simple and easy, you can find the crazy one at Twitter, where I will finally, since I finished the damn kitchen, and this weekend I will finish decorating the home, I can finally start with my good morning videos. Yes, on Crazy Louie Gaming at Twitter. You can also find me on Mondays at the Xbox Launch Page special over there at the Double Barrel Gaming YouTube channel with Mr. Boomstick, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, and Mr. Web Dave. And as always, you can find me here on Wednesdays hanging out with these awesome, handsome fellows at 7 p.m. ET here on the Xbox International Podcast. And like I always say, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell so it can tell you when XBI content comes on. And remember, let's go, let's rock, and
Let's quit gaming.
I was gonna say that. Damn it, you took it. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Love y'all.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at our destination. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off this live stream. On behalf of Xbox International, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you aboard next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.